Public speaking, potentially one of the scariest moments of your life, but also the most rewarding and the most fulfilling if you learn how to do it correctly. Today we're going to talk about why public speaking is so important, some common mistakes public speakers make, and how you can finally become the public speaker you've always wanted to be. The first reason you need to be a better public speaker is because people are going to determine whether you are a leader, whether you are somebody they're going to follow or not. And your ability to speak in public and clearly articulate your message is going to determine your level of credibility and influence with others. Now, the second reason you're going to want to work on your public speaking skills is because much of the success of the projects and the activities that you're working on is going to be dependent upon your ability to communicate and articulate your message to your team. Your team is looking to you as somebody who can help them get them to where they want to be. And so if you can articulate your message and clearly define what it is and what's to be expected, they're going to be successful, you're going to be successful, and in turn, your project is going to be successful. Now, not only does their success and the success of your project rely upon your ability to communicate and articulate your message, but your success, your level of wealth, your ambitions, and your goals all are determined upon how you communicate, how you talk with people, how you rally people around you. So if you want to have more success in any area of your life, whether it's wealth or business or family, you need to learn to be a better communicator. Now, there's a problem when it comes to public speaking, and that is a lot of common mistakes that most presenters make. Your ability to avoid these mistakes is going to spell the difference between a successful or an unsuccessful presentation. The very first mistake that I see a lot of presenters fall into is a lack of preparation. Just winging it, just going at it, hoping that it's going to work out, hoping that the message is going to resonate. If you respect yourself and your message and the audience you're presenting to, you will learn to be prepared when you're presenting and when you're speaking in public. You're also going to have to worry about your level of energy. We've all been in presentations or seen people where it's a very monotone, a very dry voice, and frankly, those people who are listening to those presentations completely tune out and your message has no hope of landing. So if you want to be successful, learn to bring the energy, learn to bring the passion, learn to bring the fire, and people will inherently build up their level of energy and be excited about what it is you have to say. You're also going to want to be aware of wasting time. Not only your time, but those you're presenting to. You're busy, I'm busy, those people are busy, and so we take too much time introducing ourselves or too much time introducing the topic. We're all busy, so get to the point as fast as you can if you want to engage and you want to hold on to people's attention. You're also going to want to worry about your hands. We've seen a lot of presenters who use their hands and it becomes a distraction, but you've also seen presenters who use their hands as a tool, as a way to enhance their presentation. And so one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is not knowing how to use your hands correctly and what you should be doing with these two things. All right, here's the big one, death by PowerPoint. We have all been bored to death by a PowerPoint slide where the presenter reads endless amounts of words and text in something that you can read yourself. If you want to be successful with your slides, use great images. Don't put too much text on it. One bullet point or one word per slide will help make sure you avoid this common and deadly mistake. Next, avoid your ums and your ahs and your filler words. That is a huge mistake that most presenters make, and if you want to be successful and avoid that trap, the best thing that you can do is get comfortable with silence so you can regain your thoughts at certain times. But do your best to eliminate any fillers, ums, and ahs. Another trap I see a lot of presenters fall into is making excuses for a poor performance. I'm tired, I lost my baggage, I'm not a great public speaker. If you continue to make excuses, especially at the onslaught of your presentation, it's no wonder that people are tuning out and expecting you to fail before you even start. The last problem I want to talk about that I see a lot of presenters make is that they have no ask at the end of their presentation. They have no outcome or they have no goal. Sure, you may have given great information, but people want to know what's next. So if you want to avoid this trap, consider what it is that you're asking people to do and ask them to do it towards the end of your presentation. So how do we become better public speakers? How do we overcome the mistakes? How do we do this effectively? The first thing I can think of is that you should be working off a script. Prepare a script ahead of time and start to memorize that. Over time and gradually, if you give yourself enough time, you can move those down to paragraphs and you can even move those down to bullet points. But I would suggest that you always start with a script, especially as you're first learning how to speak in public. Next, you'll want to use bullet points and keywords. Now, these keywords should be put on your slides. They should be on your presentation. Never a lot of text unless it's a quote, but what you should have on your slides and going over your images is the keywords, and you can use those slides as a way for you to remember certain topics, and that's what all great presenters do. Number 3, talk about something that you're passionate about. If you get an opportunity to speak about something that doesn't excite you or it actually bores you, you should decline that, because you're going to end up doing yourself more damage by taking an opportunity and talking about something that isn't engaging for you. If you're not excited about it, your audience won't be excited about it. Find topics that are exciting and that you're passionate about. Practice, practice, practice. You are not going to get better at something until you execute, until you actually act, even though you may feel very uncomfortable when you start. So I might suggest that you first start in front of a mirror, watching yourself going through your presentation. Next, you may want to get in front of your camera like I am now. You can also use Periscope or Blab as an opportunity to work and hone your public speaking skills. You're going to want to also make sure that you're viewing those things, that you're going back and you're looking and you're seeing how you are portraying yourself and your message, because you're probably doing little things that you're not even aware of, and you won't catch those things until you go back. So make sure you're recording yourself. And the very last thing that I would say is start with small groups. Work in groups of 2 or 3 or 4, and then move up to 10 and 20 and 100. And before you know it, hopefully you'll be speaking in front of thousands of people. Now, the last tip that I would give you to help you become a better public speaker is to force yourself into situations where you're going to have to communicate and you're going to have to present in front of groups. The couple that come to mind for me is number 1, Toastmasters. Join a Toastmasters group. Number 2, Business Network International. That's a group that I personally belong to, and I have an opportunity to stand up for 30 seconds and a minute and 10 minutes and present my ideas. And the very last suggestion I would give you is consider joining an improv class. Improv is all about coming up with different things on the fly, and that will force you to become a better public speaker. All right, guys, I hope that helps. We talked a lot about why public speaking is so important. We talked about some common mistakes that most public speakers make, and we also gave you some real clear and actionable tips and strategies that you can use today, you can use right now to help you become a better public speaker. Now I would ask that you go out and take action. You're never going to get better, you're never going to improve unless you act upon the information you're learning. So get yourself in front of a mirror, get yourself in front of a camera, record yourself, watch yourself, and see how you can improve as a public speaker. Now, the next thing I'd ask you to do is to click on that little subscribe button below so you never miss a show. You never miss an episode that we put out here on the Order of Man YouTube channel to help you become a better man. Guys, take action and become the man you were meant to be.